Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Girl Talk Sunday with Sandy. I am your host, Sandy Best Life Jones. Welcome to the very first episode of Girl Talk Sunday for the year 2023. I am so excited about today. I have been looking forward to this for the last few months. I knew it was coming and I've been preparing for it, so much so that I'm already all the way booked out to May of this year with my guests. So I'm just excited to have you here. I'm thankful for all of you. I can't wait to see you coming in because I want to talk to you. If you've been following me on Facebook and you've been following me on YouTube, you know that I have been saying for a while now that 2022 served as our year to heal from 2021. A lot of us went through a purging in 2021, and it wasn't just because of the pandemic either. Some of us finally decided that it was time to purge some people, some places, some situations, some habits, some mindsets out of our lives for good, because it was time. And so that's what we did. We purged, and it was a painful process. I've talked to a lot of women over the last 2 years who, made the decision to cut some people out of their lives and get rid of some habits that were stunting their growth and keeping them from becoming the very best versions of themselves that they can be, which is the version that God created us to be. And I was right along with them on that journey. So we kind of did it together. And the conversations that I've had, we all agreed that 2022 was our year to heal from the lessons of 2021. And now it's 2023, and we are finally walking in our wholeness. 2023 is the year of wholeness. And so the lessons have been learned. We've healed from those lessons. Now we're walking in wholeness. And with wholeness comes the discovery of purpose. So my very first question, from the gate right now is, what's your purpose? Why are you here? What were you created to do? And how is 2023 going to help you discover that and get moving in that? It's not enough to just discover it. You got to discover it and then get moving in it. Moving forward in your purpose with passion. What is that going to look like for you? For me, it looks like being very, very intentional about the goals that I set this year. I sat down and wrote out my quarterly goals for 2023 back in November. Some of them in October, but mostly in November, because I wanted to be able to hit the ground running in the new year. And I didn't want to have to be trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I want to achieve or accomplish in this first quarter of 2023. So those goals were already written down before the new year came in, because I know that I have always struggled with procrastination and doing what I need to do when I need to do it and not putting stuff on the back burner. I've always had an issue with that. And so I decided in 2022 that I'm going to leave that behind, because that no longer serves me. It no longer serves me to procrastinate and put off for tomorrow what I know I can do today. So I was very intentional and laser focused on making sure that my first quarter goals for the new year were already written out before the new year came in. And now I have a blueprint to live by. It doesn't mean I won't have to tweak some goals, because I probably will. I may not, but if I do, I'm open to doing that. It just means that I have them on paper. I can see them, write the vision, make it plain, right? And I can follow through with what I say I'm going to do. And that's really my number one goal for 2023, is to follow through on what I say I'm going to do. What I plan, I execute. And as I reach each goal for the quarter, I'm going to check that off and write in a new one for the next quarter. And I'm going to do that all the way through 2023 so that I can get some things done this year that I wasn't really focused on last year, because I was more focused on healing last year. But now it's time. It was time for me to identify how I plan to sow into the women around me, the women that support Girl Talk Sunday, the women that I see all the time, my good friends, my associates, my church friends, those women that are around me all the time, that I talk to all the time. How can I use my life in more of a more meaningful way to sow into their lives? That's really what I'm focused on this year. And so I have some projects that I'm working on that I'm not going to talk about tonight. You'll hear about them later on in the year. Some things that I'm doing that I feel like really feed my soul and help me walk in my purpose, and will serve as a catalyst to healing for other women. Because I believe that's what I was created to do. I was created to learn, to use the lessons that I've learned in my own life to help other women heal from their own lessons and from the things that they've gone through in their life. To remove the shame from whatever decisions that you made that turned out to be not so great. Remove that shame, because if there's shame attached to it, we don't normally want to deal with it. We kind of try to hide it, sweep it under the rug. But there's a whole, last year I had a whole bunch of stuff under the rug. So I just had to take the whole rug and just get rid of everything. And that's what I did last year. That's what I spent last year doing. Getting myself prepared to really focus and hone in on my purpose, the reason why I'm here, the reason why God created me. What am I supposed to be doing while I'm here and before I leave this earth? What deposit am I responsible for making while I'm here? And when I say deposit, I'm talking about depositing into other women. That's my responsibility. It's my obligation. It's why I was created. And so I'm going to use this year to be as purposeful as I can when it comes to sowing into the lives of other women. And I'm excited because last year, I did a whole lot of praying. I pray all the time, but my prayers were more focused than ever last year. Praying, talking to God about, what it is that I see myself being and doing and becoming. And now this year, I'm more clear than ever on what my ministry is. And ministry is just the thing that you've come to do, that you do to the glory and the honor of God. And you do it as a way of sowing into other women or other people. That's ministry. What we do that brings glory and honor to God and that lights us up on the inside and makes us feel like we're actually making a difference in the earth. So that is on my mind more than ever this year in 2023. I have some goals that I am determined to meet in this year. And the only thing standing in my way is me. I'm real clear about that. The only thing standing in my way, or the only thing that can block what God has given me to do, is me. So I'm going to make sure that I get out of my own way this year, and I'm not the thing that's hindering me. It shouldn't be me. So that's counterproductive. We're not doing counterproductive in 2023. So I would love to hear from you in the chat. What are some things that you're working on this year? What are some goals that you've set for yourself for the new year? How do you know that you are finally whole? How do you know that you finally healed from those things that you had to remove from your life over the last 2 years? And how do you know that you're whole now? I'd love to hear from you. What you see in yourself that lets you know, okay, I'm whole, I'm ready to move forward in my purpose. How can you use what hurt you to help heal other women? Is another question. Let me say that again. How can you use what hurt you to help other women heal? I believe that life is a series of lessons that God would have us learn. And once we learn that lesson, we have a responsibility to teach the lesson to other women. Because there's always going to be women coming up behind us that are going to go through the same lessons that we've already been through. So why waste them when you can share what you've been through to help somebody else get through it too? So what does that look like for you? What does it look like for you to take the lessons that you learned last year and use those lessons to help other women find their way? I want to know what that looks like for you. And what else? Who's part of your healing circle? Who's in your healing circle? Is it 1, 2, 3 people? Is it maybe just one person? Who's been taking this journey with you And how can you continue to nurture and maintain those connections as you walk into your purpose now? Have you thought about who's in your healing circle and what is your role in the healing circle? Have you thought about that? If not, you should think about it. Let's see. What kind of self-care are you doing this year? Last year, my self-care was more about sticking to myself. 2021 was my year of isolation. I have absolutely no doubt. That was my wilderness year. I didn't do a whole bunch of socializing. We were coming out of the part of the pandemic that had us cooped up in the house for a whole year. But I kind of stayed, I kind of stayed tucked away. I went to church, I went to work. Part of the year I was at home working, and then we went back into the office. Um, but I kept to myself pretty much in 2021. And then in 2022, I slowly started to come out of my what I call my bunker, um, and started to do things with my friends again, but not completely out. I was in and out. There was some times when I just needed to be by myself. And I allowed myself that time. I didn't let people make me think there was something wrong because I just wanted to be, by myself and not do a whole lot of outside stuff. But 2023, I'm coming out, y'all. I will be 55 in April. And this is my year to come on out and get going, walking in my purpose, in my full purpose, in the fullness of who I am. Because I believe that God has healed me. And now that I'm whole, I can become the fullness of who I am. And this year is my coming out party. So I got a few things I'm going on right now. Y'all gonna be surprised. I can't tell you, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about everything that I know about. And I'm excited about what God has for me that He hasn't revealed to me yet. Because I know it's going to be for my highest and my best good. So anybody else having a coming out party, I would love to know. I just feel like this is the year. This is the year for me. I think that 55 feels monumental to me. I remember when I turned 45, and that 10 years went by fast. That was what, 2013? That year I lost my sister unexpectedly. And her death threw me for a loop. I didn't see that coming. I promise you, I thought my sister and I had at least another 45 years together and that we would grow old together and be some really old, strange women together, just doing what we always do, hanging out, living down the street from each other like we always have. I never thought in a million years that at the age of 45, I would lose my 46-year-old sister forever. That was 2013. That was 10 years ago in this coming September. And so I'll never forget the year I turned 20 or 45 because that was the year that changed my life completely. And in that 10-year span, I knew that God was reshaping and remolding me. I knew that I would not be the same Sandi that I had been prior to my sister's death. I knew it. And I didn't know what this new Sandi would look like. I just knew that I was being made new. And it took that whole 10 years from 2013 to now for me to make that metamorphosis, to make that switch, for God to really show me myself and helped me make the changes that I needed to make. It took that full 10 years. And so now I feel like my life has come full circle. And, you know, turning 55 in April means a little something different to me now than it would have had I not lost my sister at 45. So I understand not just how precious life is, but how fleeting life is. I understand that more now more than ever. And I am in full understanding that 10 minutes from now is not promised, let alone tomorrow or next week or next month. Whatever you're going to do, you need to go on and get it done. Because we just don't know. We don't know when our time is going to be up. And so it's not meant for us to just sit around and be scared about it or to be anxious about it or to allow that to just keep us huddled in our little cocoon. That's not what that means. It just means that you have to live life on purpose now because we just never know. So while you can sow into the people around you, sow into the earth, you need to do that. But you need to do it with purpose and with understanding and with intentionality. And only God can give you that. That's why I say, you know, a prayer life is so important now more than ever. Understanding what it means to communicate with God, to commune with God, to lay your petition before God, to ask Him to bless your every endeavor, and to live your life with integrity, to really put a mirror, put a microscope on your character so you can really see how you show up in the world. Yes, your skills and your abilities, your gifts, your talents, they can get you in the room, but it's going to be your character that gets you a seat at the table. So it's time to shine a light on our character. And it's not always pretty when we have to do that. I had to do it. I had to get real with myself. And I had to say to myself, there are some things going on in your life that should not be named among you. As a woman who says, I am a believer in Jesus Christ, and I believe in doing what's right because it's right. So those are some of the things that I had to leave behind in 2021, and then turn around and heal from leaving the behind. I had to heal in 2022. And so now I know who I am in God. I know who I am as a woman. I know what I will and will not allow in my life around me. I understand my values. I'm crystal clear on my values and on my own personal code of conduct. And that is the way I govern my life. And I'm okay if the people in my life can't rise to the occasion. That's okay. I'm okay with that now. I used to be really scared about losing people. Not anymore. I always say, if I can watch my sister, who I loved more than anything and anybody in this world, take her last breath, I can let anybody go. So I don't try to hold people hostage in my life. I let them go, but I let them go with love. Because you never know, they may come back. But sometimes you got to let people go so they can go and find their own way and do their own work and do their own healing and to become the best version of themselves that they can be. And I'm okay with that now. That was really hard for me for a long time. Not anymore. I keep telling you, I'm turning 55. I didn't grow up. So I just want to know, what are some things that you went through that made you have to grow up last year in 2022? And what does the grown-up you look like and feel like? How are you going to show up in the world differently now? How are you going to move through life differently? I'm really interested to know. So put it in the chat for me so I can see it. I am looking forward to starting a new position at work. I got promoted, and I'm really excited about that. I still don't have a start date, but I have a meeting on Wednesday, so hopefully they'll be telling me or telling us, because there's a few of us, what our start date is. I'll find out. I think I'll find out on Wednesday, but it's okay. Whenever I start, it's okay. I'm learning not to get all ahead of myself. I'll get a start date when I'm supposed to. In the meantime, I'm still in the office, and I'll be serving those that come into the office the way I always have and the way I always do. And we'll just see what happens after that. So I'm excited about that too, just to be learning something new and doing something new, meeting new people, making new connections. All of that is really exciting to me. So I can't wait. Now, I want to tell you about my guests who will be coming on the show in February. They are a couple that I have known for over 35 years, I think, maybe about 35 years. And I I really love and admire them. They've been married for a long time, over 30 years, 30 years. And they've each had their own careers, and now they work together. Um, they are the owners, creators of a financial and mental wellness service called Winds of Liberty. And their names are Jay and Cornelia Thomas. And they are coming on the show to talk to us about Winds of Liberty and the services that they provide through Winds of Liberty. And so if you need to get your money right, you need to get your credit right, you need to get your mind right, you need to become balanced in your emotions, then you need to watch next month's Girl Talk Sunday with Sandi. Jay and Cornelia Thomas will be here. And I can't wait to see them. I know a lot of you know them, and I'll be advertising for that show in just about a week or so. I'll be putting the flyer up for that show. So don't miss that show, because if you live local where I live, you can tap into their services. And I think that you will be blessed. They know what they're doing. They've got the credentials. They got an awesome team working with them. And I'm going to introduce Winds of Liberty to you through Jay and Cornelia Thomas. That's February, the fourth Sunday in February. I think it's February 26th, I want to say. They'll be here right here on the Girl Talk Sunday sofa with me. And I can't wait to see them. And like I said, I'm booked all the way out to May of this year. And I should be booking my June guests in the coming weeks. So we got a full house already. And they are people who, do a myriad of things. And they're going to come and share what they have to offer. And they're going to let you know how you can tap in. So I'm excited for you. And I'm excited for me. And I can't wait. I can't wait for this season. This is going to be a great season of Girl Talk Sunday with Sandi. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight's just going to be short. It's just going to be a short one. I just wanted to pop in and say Happy New Year and to let you know what the theme is for 2023. We're focused on being whole and stepping in and walking in our purpose. That's what we're doing in 2023. I love y'all. I love you. I can't wait to see you next month. I hope that you share this broadcast and let your friends and your family know that Girl Talk Sunday is back for a brand new season. And we can't wait to see you on the fourth Sunday of every month. I'll see you next month. Love y'all. Bye.